Hi there, I'm Mr. Jones, and here's a quick lesson on plot chart for a story. This is labeled reference page because these notes are also in my students' reading journals for them to refer to. I'm going to talk as quick as I can to make this short, and then you can pause or rewind at your pleasure. I have story plot chart broken down into 10 parts, 10 particular terms. And the first term is the word plot, of course. I like to teach plot chart happening over a timeline so that this is the beginning of the story and this is the end. A lot of plot charts will show a more regular isosceles triangle like this, and it needs to resemble more of a right triangle like this. With this one here, this is the climax, which is the highest point of interest. And if the highest point of interest in a book or a movie were to happen in the middle, no one would be very interested in watching the second half of the book or movie. So if you consider that this is a 300-page story book, something, a chapter book like a Percy Jackson or Harry Potter or something like that, Fablehaven, if this is page 0 and this is the middle of the book, page 150, and this is the end of the book, page 300, the climax would normally happen somewhere around page 275 or even later. This part here needs to be a short part of wrapping things up and seeing how the story is resolved. And if you considered it as a movie, with this the start of the movie and it being a 2-hour-long movie, this is the 1-hour mark. If the climax were here, then nobody would watch the second hour of the movie to watch stuff that's not as exciting as the main climax. Consider that there may be sub-conflicts throughout the story with little mini climaxes or exciting scenes, but that this climax here is the highest point of interest. And in a 2-hour movie, it's at least an hour and 45 minutes or later into the movie. Sometimes there's only a couple of minutes or 5 minutes left of a movie before it's done. So we have 10 blanks in the order that you encounter them in a story. So after plot, the second thing we have is the exposition, which is where the point of view is established for a book, so either first person or third person. The setting is in the exposition, and the setting includes the time, place, and situation. After you have the setting, you begin having rising action, and it should be at a steady incline, building the reader or the viewer's interest. In this rising action, this is when we meet the characters that we become attached to so that we care about their conflicts. At the very top is the climax. That's what it's all building towards. This is what the getting to know and like the characters and understanding the conflicts builds towards this highest point of interest, usually with suspense. And then we have falling action, which, as I already mentioned, should be a shorter part of this timeline. That is, as we find out how it's going to happen, is the hero going to win? Are they going to fall in love? Is Lightning McQueen going to win the final big race? And then the resolution is where it wraps everything up. You find out that they live happily ever after. They got married. They became best friends. They went on to have famous careers in professional sports, whatever the afterward stuff would be. So you have all 10 parts labeled here, and exposition has the word expose in it. And expose means, of course, to uncover or show something, and that's what happens. It's revealed in the beginning of the show of the time, place, and the situation. And then resolution has the word resolve, and it even has the word solution in it. So resolve means to work things out or to fix things or to bring things together, and solution, of course, is how a problem is solved. And just kind of a little tidbit, I tell my students that it'll make them look intelligent at dinner parties, is that resolution is also known as the denouement, which is pronounced denouement, and it's a French word that basically means resolution. So here you have the whole thing all filled in. Oh, and conflicts are best expressed as blank versus blank. Joe versus the volcano. The married couple versus the house that's falling apart. Belle versus the Beast, and Belle versus Gaston. So there can be more than one conflict. As a matter of fact, there usually is more than one conflict, with one major conflict being the main one that the climax is building towards. In the Karate Kid versus the bully in the other dojo. So that is a plot chart outline in a nutshell.